My name is Rabbi Trovia. I'm the director of an organization, Outreach Judaism. I've devoted my life to helping Jews who've converted to Christianity return back to the Jewish faith. Bear in mind today, there are hundreds of missions, Christian missions, who are targeting Jews for conversion. Now, this has been going on for 2,000 years, where evangelical Christians are claiming that Jesus is the Messiah. But in order to accomplish that task, meaning in order to convey that message to the Jews, they had to do two things. They had to change the life of Jesus, mold it, to make it appear as though it fit messianic parameters. But the second and most startling thing that they did is they altered the Jewish scriptures, our Tanakh, our Hebrew Bible, our precious scriptures, in order to make it appear as though it's speaking about Jesus. They'll take verses out of context, change the meaning of text. Let me give you an example. If you met a missionary, they tell you, if you looked in the book of Zechariah, the prophet Zechariah lived about 2,500 years ago. He was one of the last of the prophets to live in the beginning of the Second Temple period. In the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 6, it says there, "And one shall say unto him, What are those wounds between your hands? And he shall say, Those are the wounds that I received in the house of my friends. Look it up for yourself." It's there. So missionaries will say to you, if you look at your own Bible, if you see your own Hebrew prophet Zechariah, there's a prophecy that the Messiah is supposed to have holes between his hands. Now, in fact, the text is there. Moha mako se'ela bein yadecha. But what is the context of this text where somebody is saying, these are the wounds that I received in the house of my friends, showing the wounds in his hands? Who is that individual? Always read a passage in its context. Zechariah 13:6 has 5 passages before it. The text is referring to the Messianic age, when false prophets will be exposed. They'll come forth and confess their sin. They're going to confess that I'm really not a prophet. I spoke in a false way, presumptuously in the name of the Lord. Now, among these false prophets that are going to come into view in the Messianic age, one prophet in particular is going to be very striking. People are going to come over to him, and this is in verse 6, and ask him, but what are those wounds doing between your hands? The false prophet is going to say, I received those wounds in the house of my friends. You notice the difference when you read a passage out of context. Sounds like it might be speaking about someone who's crucified. Maybe it's speaking about Jesus. If you read it in context, it still might be speaking about Jesus, but not a Messiah, but rather a false prophet. What's the message? Know your Bible. If you know Sefer Zechariah, if you understand the message of this great prophet, no missionary will be able to rob you of a faith in God and your connection to the Almighty. Thanks for joining me.